back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. As you can tell from the title of this video, today we are putting together my bookshelves and organizing them, and then we'll do a bookshelf tour. Because I've gotten so many books over the last several months since I started BookTube, I have outgrown my old bookshelf and it was time for a new one. I ordered this one on Amazon. It's not anything crazy. We live in a rental apartment, so I can't do built-ins or anything like that. So this is just a floor standing unit. At the moment, I'm not sure what my final book count is. At the end of the video, after the organization is done, I will put the final book count on the screen. Right now, take a moment to put your guess as to how many books I have in the comments down below. And I will reveal the final number at the end of the video, after I do a final count. It'll be fun, why not? Okay, so as I'm filming this intro, obviously the bookshelf is done, the organization is done, but I will go ahead and insert some B-roll of me putting it together. I did struggle a little bit with that. I had to take it apart at one point, but it's fine. Everything's fine. It came together in the end, so I think we're all right. There were no pieces left behind, no miscellaneous screws. Everything came together as it should. Here's me putting that together. I hope you enjoy. Here is the current state of the kitchen island. And hopefully this will all fit on the bookshelves. And so yeah, and here is the bookshelf and a cute little reading nook that I put there in the corner. So we have 3 columns of shelves. On either side, the left and the right, there are 6 shelves there, and the middle section has 5. This will hopefully fit everything I have, and let's get to decorating. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start organizing where I want to put my romances and my fantasy. Maybe we'll do romance, fantasy, and a mix of both. First, I'm going to organize them by series, because I do have a lot of series. Currently, I'm reading Reckless. That's why my bookmark is in there. And obviously, I'll organize them by author as well. So everything's kind of organized by author series into memoirs, lit fic, thrillers are up here. Fantasy series by author, Sarah J. Maas. Dark romances, and then romances by author if I have multiple of them. Okay, so the bookshelf is done. Everything is up. I'm super excited and I'm loving how it's looking. This section here is all romances. This section is Sarah J. Maas, dark romance, and then miscellaneous thrillers, lit fic, things like that, dark academia. This side here we have the fantasy section. And obviously this will change as I get new books. I still have a few more books coming this month. So I'll have to reconfigure a few things, but they're not all like super tight in there. They have some room to breathe. So there's still a little bit of room for growth, but this is basically what I came up with. And let's go ahead and go through them all shelf by shelf. So we'll start with the top here, and this is the romances. So I have Emily Henry up there, Ashley Poston, Abby Jimenez, Allie Hazelwood. I have the Love Light Farm series by B.K. Borison, Amy Leah, and Rosie Dannon. And I have another book for Rosie Dannon that's still coming. So there's a little bit of room for that one. And then we have my cowboy romances and sports romances. So we have Elsie Silver. We have the Gold Rush Ranch series. And then the new one, I believe this is Rose Hill series. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But that's the new one that came out for Elsie Silver. Then we have Chestnut Springs. We have Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled. These need to be switched. The third one's going to fit in here as well because they're not super tight in here. Then we have Icebreaker and Wildfire, and then these need to be switched. And the Vancouver Storm series, Behind the Net and the Fake Out. Then moving down here, we have more romances. We have Tessa Bailey, the book that my friend rebound for me. It happened one summer. I have Elena Armas, Spanish Love Deception, and American Roommate Experiment. These are interconnected together. And then The Long Game, and then The Fiancé Dilemma is coming out also, so that's going to fit in here. And then we have Lauren Asher, Dirty Air series, and the new book for her Lakefront Billionaire series, which the second one is also coming out in June, I believe, this year. Next shelf down, we have Christina Lauren, Lynn Painter, and then these are like summer specific books. So I have The Summer of Us, Summer Reading, Comeback Summer, The Summer I Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han, and then Elle Kennedy, The Summer Girl, Bad Girl, Reputation, and Good Girl Complex. I think these are out of order as well. I think Summer Girl is last. Okay. Then we have like miscellaneous romances. Let me get this guy out of the way. These are all just kind of like not part of a series, but paperback romances. The Simple Wild I just got, Must Love Books I just got, Funny Feeling I just got. Same with this one. I have Archer's Voice right here, Mariana Zapata, and then these are also the same kind of situation, except Never by Jessa Hastings. I think this is a Peter Pan retelling, which technically should go, I don't know if that should go in the fantasy section or what, but I moved it here because the color kind of matched with this sort of like salmon stack of books that I have right there. So that's that. Then moving on to the bottom shelf. These are all kind of like older books that I had that I don't want to get rid of yet, and also more seasonal books. So I have The Kiss Curse and The X-Hex right there for like Halloween, and then My Roommate is a Vampire, which I just got. Then my Christmas romances, A Winter in New York, All I Want for Christmas is a Cowboy, and Christmas by the Book. And then I have just random hardcover romances or rom-coms, and then Nicholas Sparks down here, kind of stacked up because there's no room for him. Moving on to the middle section, we have Throne of Glass at the top. Then we have more Sarah J. Maas. We have ACOTAR and Crescent City. Then we have a dark romance shelf. It's not, I have more dark romances scattered around here as well, but these kind of all fit together color scheme wise. So we've got 50 Shades. We have Haunting Adeline, the Darkverse series by Runix, and then Gothicana by Runix, which is the special edition with the purple edges. And then I have the Kingmaker series, or All the King's Men series by Kennedy Ryan, which isn't technically a dark romance, I don't believe. I believe these are like either mafia or I don't know what they are, but. And then Neon Gods is the first one of the series. I don't have the rest of that series by Kate Robert. And then Credence by Penelope Douglas. Then moving on here, these are kind of miscellaneous. Atlas 6, If We Were Villains, which is a dark academia. The Business, which is kind of like a thriller, and The Da Vinci Code. And I kind of liked how this looks here with my crystal and like these two. I'm not actually sure what these are. We got these in Mexico, but they're made of obsidian and you can look at the sun through them. That's what we watched the eclipse on. So here we have kind of like more thrillers. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, The Inheritance Games, Housemaid, Silent Patient, Billy Summers by Stephen King, Verity, Stone Cold Fox. These are all like the thrillers, and then these are like litfic memoirs and like miscellaneous kind of thing. So I have Tomorrow, Angela's Ashes, Tom Lake, Our Story. I read this a while ago. It was really good. Frank Abagnale, Catch Me If You Can, Storied Life of A.J. Fikry, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. This is a book that my mom used to read to me. This is in Polish, and it's The Secret Garden. So I'm keeping that here. And then the last one I have here is The Gospel According to Coco Chanel. And moving on to the final third, we have the top shelf. We have V.E. Schwab. This is the Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. This is where my Invisible Life of Addie LaRue will be. This is just a book jacket because my sister is currently reading this one. Then we have Miscellaneous Fantasy. I have A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. I don't have the rest of the series, but this is a special edition that my friend gave to me. And it's got beautiful sprayed edges right there. Other miscellaneous fantasy books. We have A Fate Inked in Blood, Throne of the Fallen, Portrait in Sepia. This is an old book that I haven't read yet, or maybe I have. I honestly can't remember if I read this or not, but I've had this for a long, long time. So I think I have to reread it. Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows, and then Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Moving on to the next shelf, we've got all the Leigh Bardugo and the new one, Familiar. Shadow and Bone, I believe you read this before you read that. So, but these are paperbacks and they just kind of look better over here. So we have Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, Ninth House, Hellbent, and The Familiar, and then Shadow and Bone. Then over here, I have the Cruel Prince series. This is a special edition of the Cruel Prince. It's like a velvet black, very beautiful book. And then just the regular one, Queen of Nothing and Wicked King. I don't know if those are in order or not. I haven't read this series yet. We have Stephanie Garber, the Caraval series and the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and then just miscellaneous kind of like YA. We have Serpent and Dove, Belladonna, Foxglove. Wisteria will be coming out this year as well. For Powerless, I believe Reckless is coming out later this year. And Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is also getting another book this year. And then there's Lightlark, which I know the second one of this is out, but I don't have it yet. Nightbane, I believe it's called. So these are like kind of like YA fantasy books. Then moving on to this is like a miscellaneous fantasy as well. And then my Laura Thalassa stack. So I have Bewitched, and then Bespelled is going to be up there when that comes out. The Four Horsemen series, and then the Bargainer series right there. And then I have some Scarlett St. Clair books. Touch of Darkness, Game of Fate. There's a third one in here that I don't have yet. Game of Retribution is number 4, and I believe there's like 3 more after that that I still need to get. Then I have When the Moon Hatched, A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, Bride by Ali Hazelwood, amazing book. Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver, also an amazing book. Book 2 is coming out soon, so that's going to be here. There's room for it. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, which is like a cozy fantasy. I really like that book. And there is a second book for this, which I don't have yet. And then Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, which I have not read yet. And then the final shelf all the way at the bottom, I have my Stephanie Meyer Twilight series, and then The Host, and then the Shatter Me series. So that is it. That is my little library nook right there. There's still a little bit of room left over to grow. Once I get more books, I'll just kind of reorganize them again. I have a lot that are kind of displayed, which, you know, you can just squeeze together and then have more room that way. When new books arrive, I'll just kind of reconfigure it then. If you haven't done so yet, please put your guess as to how many books are on that shelf in the comments down below, and I'll give you a minute. All right, let's count how many books we have. final count of how many books are on this bookshelf behind me. And that is 235. 235 books. My guess was actually 245 before I did this, and my husband guessed 195. So we had a little poll going on. I think I won because 235. So I was 10 off. 10 off! How crazy is that? Here's my little boy. My little baby boy, Ollie. Hi, baby boy. Lucy, go. Okay, 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 okay. Good. Go say hi to the camera. Say hi to our new followers. This is Lucy. This is my little baby Lucy. See, now that I'll be filming on the couch right here, since this is my new filming spot, they're going to be all over me. Where were we? 235 books. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I have a lot to read. I have not read this many. I have, majority of them I have not read yet. I have read some, but not all of them. Let me actually count how many I've read, because that's a lower number for sure. So then we can see how many I have unread. Counted how many of them I've actually read so far, and that number is 63, which means we have 172 that are not read yet, that have not been read yet. 172 books that I have on my physical TBR that need to be read. Oh my God. That's a little overwhelming. I did not know that number was so high. But yeah, we better get to reading. I mean, well, okay. So 63 and a half, because I've already started reading one of those books. I didn't count it as my read, but 63 and a half, which means 171 and a half TBR. Guys, wow, that's a little overwhelming. How am I going to do that? I can't even read that many books in a year. Maybe if I read like 2 books a day, no, maybe if I read one book every 2 days, that might get me close to reading all the books on my TBR. That's not going to happen though, because it's just not going to happen. It takes me, if it's a rom-com or like a short book, it takes me like, I mean, I've had read books in one single day before, sometimes a day and a half, because I usually only read for like a couple hours a day. So I'll read for like in the evening after work, because I work 9 to 5, I have a full-time job. I'll read for like 3 hours a day or something like that if I have time, if I'm not tired, but sometimes I don't read every single day. So usually I get through maybe 1 to 2 books a week. I'm gonna actually try to do more though. This year, I'm gonna try to do a lot more because of this ridiculous TBR number that I just gave you. I'm gonna try to do 2 to 3 books per week. Unless it's a big fantasy book, because I just finished reading House of Earth and Blood. No, not House of Earth, House of Sky and Breath. And I'll give you my full review on that in my April reading wrap up. But those Crescent City books are dense. They are dense. They take a long time, and they're 800 pages, you know? I mean, like, the other longest book I think on this bookshelf is the last one of Throne of Glass. Kingdom of Ash is the longest one I have on here, on this bookshelf. And that's like, I think it's like 900 something pages. So that, I don't know. If you've read that book, tell me how long it took you to read it. I suspect it will take me maybe like 7-8 days to read that. I'm really happy with my bookshelves. I'm so excited. I can finally see all my books, and I don't have to take everything off the shelf in order to get to like a book in the back, which is what I used to have to do. And I'm really happy with my little library nook behind me now. It's so freaking cute. That's all I wanted to do for like the last few months, is just like get like a big library bookcase and just organize everything. So there are still some books on there that maybe eventually I'm going to unhaul, that are like older ones that I read a long time ago. I don't really remember what they were about, or maybe I'll reread them and maybe they'll become favorites again. That's definitely something to think about. For now, I'm only unhauling one book, and that's this one, New Moon, from the Twilight series, the second one, because my first Twilight book and this book were this TV cover ones, and I don't like that. So I found this one at, I think it was Open Books or Half Price Books, where it was kind of matching the rest of the set. So I'm going to unhaul this one. I'm going to donate this to either a free little library or back to Open Books or just to my local library. I don't know yet. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe. That will really help my new channel. and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!